Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Gearheads, the inaugural episode of this, I guess we'll call it YouTube show. Hunter Connolly behind the camera right now and myself, Kalen Wolfskill, are going to take a look at the 2005 V6 Mustang today, my personal car. I am a Mustang fanatic. My dream car for the longest time was a Mustang 1965 Fastback. So, the fact that this is my very first car that I bought with my own money is something crazy, because this is the dream, you know, owning a Mustang as a Mustang fanatic. This is the dream. And when I got it at first, you know, you have that wow factor, like, wow, I just bought one of my dream cars, you know, and it's something that doesn't really go away. This car has a wow factor every time I get into it. For me, for others maybe not, but for me this is a crazy good car. Things that I have had problems with: I've had a leaking problem in the window over there. This window, water gets in and is stuck in the door jambs. That one now is starting to leak and get in through the floor. If you are a Mustang owner, or if you do a Google search of common 2005 Mustang problems, you'll see that that's one of them. You'll also see that the other leaking issue, which I also experienced this summer, unfortunately, is with a grommet right under the hood that basically gets clogged, and water comes in through the heating system down here to the floor, coating the floor in water. The first time I had it happen to me, it was like a waterfall went off. It was after a huge thunderstorm and the whole floor was just trash. Thankfully, I didn't have anything to do that day, so I could just air it out real quick and everything was fine. For a V6, this thing has a lot of get up and go. It definitely lives up to Mustang potential. Granted, it's not a V8, it doesn't have a V8 sound, so when you purchase one of these things, you can't expect it to be a V8, for sure. You just can't even contemplate that idea. What else about this thing? It gives you a feeling. It makes you feel special when you get in here. Jeremy Clarkson always said Mustangs appeal to the 10-year-old in you, and they do, for sure. There's no lie about it. I feel like a little kid living out his dream, because I kind of am, when I get in this car. You know, it's something amazing. It handles fantastic for a muscle car. Granted, it's still not anything like a Maserati Quattroporte or a Bentley or even any other kind of supercar. Honestly, they all handle better, and the steering is a little bit lackluster at times. Sometimes you get really good feel from it. Other times it's just kind of like, I'm here steering a car. Another thing I don't like about this car is that everything is plastic. Over here's plastic, here's plastic. My door pull is plastic. Down here's plastic. Everything in this interior is plastic. It doesn't matter where it is. The dash is plastic. I don't have a single piece of leather in this car. Granted, this is the most base model it gets, but at the same time, I it's a Mustang. I'm gonna want, ooh, nice big bump. It's a Mustang. I'm gonna want some amenities. I'm gonna want some nice stuff. And another thing I don't like is the suspension is some kind of weird hybrid of I'm a sports car and I'm a weird regular road car. It's some sort of hybrid between those two. So when you're going around corners at speeds you probably shouldn't be going around corners, which I do, sorry mom, you get a little bit of sway. You also get some fairly decent understeer in those corners if you aren't careful. Now, another thing that I discovered the hard way with this car is tires are important. Holy cow, are they important. So, as we go over this bump here. So, why are tires important? Well, for a starter, the ones I had on here were probably 4 years old. That being said, they were pretty low on tread. Rainy days, this car was spinning. No matter how little I touched the throttle, I was spinning tires. Snowy days, I had to drive to work one day in snow because I work in retail. Excuse me, and it made it, but I was going about 10 while the other four-wheel drive SUVs are going 35, possibly 40. And, you know, obviously I wasn't expecting to go fast, but I was expecting to go more than 2. I said about the steering being kind of loose and not great, that comes with the problem of the fact that the car is like driving a brick from time to time. And that's mostly because it is a brick, but everyone likes the brick shape of the Mustang. No one dislikes it. You want a Mustang to be a brick. The new ones are a different story, but you know, the new ones are also trying to be sportier. They're trying to be a little bit more on the I'm a really, really fast car and I'm engineered well. Like the new GT350. The GT350R is an amazing marvel of engineering for muscle cars. This is not. This is obviously your V6. This is like getting in a 2015 V6 in a way. It's just nothing really to write home about. It's a great car, amazing, reliable, daily, relatively cheap to fix, and it goes fast enough. It really does. You don't need to do anything special to it unless you're a race car driver, which I'm not. So the noise in this car is actually pretty good. I had the muffler off for about 2 months, and it makes amazing noise with the muffler off. And when I put this, I bought a $40 GT muffler. When I put that on, the noise it got quieter, but I kept the same quality. I got burbles on downshifts. I got all the stuff that I got with the muffler off, which was honestly amazing as we go over some railroad tracks. It was great. I love the fact that I'm not waking up the little kids in my development now, and I love the fact that it still gives me what I want out of it without being obnoxious. So what I'm getting at with this car overall is that it's a really good car. Is it the best daily though? And the answer to that question is hell no. Gas mileage is about 22 miles to the gallon, probably somewhere in that ballpark. I've never actually calculated it. The manual says like 22, 24 or whatever, highway, something like that, and maybe. It's a big engine. It's a 4-liter V6, as I've said before. That's a lot of gas, and honestly, you don't get as much power as you want from that 4-liter V6. It's a little bit down on it, and I feel like that's a good thing since I'm dailying it. But at the same time, I also don't like that fact. I want a little bit more power. I plan on putting a tune on it to actually solve that problem in a couple months. Maybe not a couple months, maybe in like a month or 2, I don't know. I'm bouncing the idea around at the moment, so we'll see about that. There are the little silver accents, chrome accents here on the air conditioning are great. The accent of the pony on the horn, like every Mustang ever, is just a nice touch. The wheel being a homage to the original Mustang kind of style. The dash being kind of a homage to the natural style of it. The whole thing kind of going back to the 65 Mustang and this body style is something I really, really love about it. And it's something that a lot of people take for granted, that, oh, all Mustangs need to be kind of like that. The new ones, the interior does it too, but it does it in a more modern way. The new ones, I think, are actually better looking than this one. I honestly think their interior is laid out better, with like a start button down here and all your other knobs and things way down here that are less bulky and less kind of generic. That's another complaint I have with the car. I keep going from good things to bad things, but that's kind of how this car is. It's very in the middle. There's a lot of good things, but some of the good things are also kind of bad things. Again, with the plastic interior, these little knobs feel cheesy. They feel cheap. The car feels cheap sometimes. And you can't really tell when you're driving it, but when you compare it to other things, you definitely will notice that, yeah, this thing is cheap compared to the other things. Price-wise for the car, you can pick this thing up for $7,400. I paid $7,100 for mine last summer. I talked the guy down a little bit. With insurance and everything, because I have an accident on my record, I ended up paying about $9,000 for all of it in total. Burnouts and things, if you want to have fun with this car, real easy to have fun with this car. We can do it here a little bit. Let's wait for this. We got a little traffic here, but here we go. It has get up and go. We got up to 60 there. And that's, I put my foot down, but wasn't really going hard. When you're going hard in this car on the highway and you really, really floor it and put your foot down, you're going 100 before you know it. And that's kind of a scary thing, but as I mentioned before, this car is built for that, and it feels okay at 100 miles an hour. It feels comfortable coasting at 100 miles an hour. It's no 200 mile an hour monster, but for a daily driver, this is one of the better, faster, easier to maintain cars you can get, honestly. That goes for all the Mustang V6s in the entire spectrum of Mustang V6s from literally this year up, basically. Thanks for watching, guys. I love telling you about my Mustang. It's my favorite car, my most favorite car of all time. And next week, we got something special for you. Hunter's truck is going to be up on the next episode of Gearheads, so hopefully you'll tune in for that one. See you next time.